everybody. How are y'all this evening? Good? Yes. Welcome to Give Praise, a celebration of Texas Poet Laureate Amanda Johnston. Give it up for her. This is a celebration, an exciting time to celebrate historic firsts in the Texas poetry world, especially during National Poetry Month. How many of y'all knew April was National Poetry Month? Give it up for the writers who put words to feelings and all those words that we don't even know, and it's like, I don't know how to express it, but I read something, they say something, and I'm like, yep, that's it right there. So shout out to all the poets in the building, the poets that are gonna come up, and to history, to making history. So by being here today, y'all are taking part of history. Amanda is the first Black woman Texas Poet Laureate. That is historic. You can hear them laughing about it back there. Cheering on, yeah! First Black woman to be Texas Poet Laureate. We also have Deborah Mouton, who will be here today performing, and she is the first Black Houston Poet Laureate, so that is our first as well. And then we also have Brookins, who was the organizer, and when I say the, I mean T-H-E-E, like the organizer for the Austin Poet Laureate program, which officially started this year, and we have our first inaugural Austin Poet Laureate. So thanks to KB's hard work. That's a historic first too, so y'all are in for a treat. This is like super historic all the way around. Just everyone that steps onto the stage is like someone who is part of history, and so being here today, y'all are part of history. So thank you for coming and celebrating with us. And also by being here, y'all are supporting Torch Literary Arts. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to amplifying Black women writers. We have free workshops, free events like this one. We have virtual writing circles, so if you need some accountability, if you're a writer, a BIPOC woman writer, and you need accountability, join the workshop or the writing circle. It's free. It's an hour on Mondays or on Saturdays just to write. I use it all the time because that's my only accountability partner, kind of. I need more accountability partners, but thanks to Torch, we have so many free and accessible programs available to everyone who loves literature. So if you're a supporter of Black women writers, which I feel like all of you are, because you're here today, thank you. And we also want to thank our wonderful sponsors and supporters too, the City of Austin Economic Development Department. We want to thank the Poetry Foundation, the Birdie and Johnson Foundation, and all of the supporters, donors, individual supporters and donors, people who repost all of our stuff on Instagram, who like our stuff on Facebook, anyone who's done anything to amplify Torch, we really, really appreciate y'all. So thank y'all for coming, and I will introduce the first person to come to the stage, and that is KB Brookins. Yeah, okay, cool. KB Brookins. Now, KB has a very long bio, but we all agreed that we keep it short, simple, and intentional. So KB is an amazing person. I know them personally just because I've always admired their work, their short film, a lot of their poetry books, chapbooks, everything like that. And also, like I said, KB is the person who decided to bully in a nice way. There's a nice way to bully. That means when you're doing something for good. Bully City Council into having the Austin Poet Laureate program. So without KB's hard work, dedication, and good bullying, we wouldn't have an Austin Poet Laureate, which is weird because every other city, I feel like every major city in Texas has one, and we just got one this year. So shout out to KB for doing what was necessary to advocate for years. I know it was probably hard and tiring and annoying, but you're here today to say you did it, and we appreciate you for that. So without further ado, KB Brookins.
Okay, Austin, Texas, how are we doing? Okay, let's try that one more time. Austin, Texington. Gotta use the government name. How are we doing tonight? Yes, I love to hear that. I am so grateful to be here celebrating our first Black woman Texas Poet Laureate, Miss Amanda Johnston. Now, I think it was a cold day at Bookwoman when we first met, maybe. I was fresh out of I was gonna say failing out, that's not true, dropping out of a graduate school program. And I was really eager to find community in Austin. I was like, is Austin going to be a place for me, right? So I went to like unemployed, LOL. I went to like every literary event I could while I had the free time. And one of the events that I just happened to go to was Amanda Johnston and Sequoia Manor. And it was a really amazing and invigorating event. And I'm so happy that almost 7 years later, you know, we're still friends and I'm still doing poems in Austin, Texas. And I believe that you were a part of that. So please give it up for Amanda. So I'm gonna read a couple poems for y'all. And then I'm gonna introduce Deborah, who's gonna really light up the stage. And then introduce Amanda after that. Are we good with that, y'all? Yes? All right. So I'm going to start with a poem dedicated to one of my teachers. So a little bit about this poem. Amanda does this really amazing project called Praise Song for the People. I don't know if y'all have heard of it, but if you haven't, it's praisesongforthepeople.com. Yes. It is free to access online, and it is 70 poems by 70 poets across Texas celebrating everyday Texans, right? And when we say everyday Texans, we mean the people that make this state great every day. So not politicians, not celebrities, but the people to your left and to your right. And when Amanda asked me, and I was honored to be asked to write a praise song, right? I immediately thought about my high school teacher, Miss Elaine Duran. She let me sit in the back of her class for like a year and be weird, because I was very weird in 9th grade and very shy and didn't speak at all. But she, I think the first day that I came to her class, said literally, "I see you." And that really mattered to me, and the space that she created literally with her bare hands, because it was like a public school in Fort Worth, Texas on the black side of town. I think about her a lot. So I wrote this poem about her, Ode to Elaine Duran, Fort Worth, Texas, 2009. How would I have survived high school without your rundown, white bricked classroom? Hyena laughing black woman fluent in Spanglish, poetry, and gossip. Her plastic ID dangled as she said to me, "I see you," after I spent a whole day erased. I went to every period begging to keep my hoodie on, my hair bumped and crimped as if this convinced passersby I was some kind of girl. Miss D was the only teacher who kept me glued to my body. My hoodie stayed on as she quipped about clothes not equaling the wit we'd gain if we came to her room after school. My head, now littered with locks, stands high as I type to the unwritten sky, hoping she knows she changed my life, and her laugh, unlanguaged and unbound, still rings in that way I'll always miss. I hope she recognizes me, the kid in her AP Spanish class who had to be coerced into speaking, then joined the after-school poetry society at the request of my friends. Now I speak her name in crowded rooms and conjure language like it's mine. I honor the space she built every time I deny my own demise. Thank you. Okay, I actually made my set all odes because I was like, well, I don't want to dampen the mood, and also this is like give praise. So I tried to be on theme, y'all. So this next poem is called T-Shot Number 5, Ode to My Sharps Container. All you need to know is I'm trans, and one part of my gender-affirming care is hormone replacement therapy. Another thing you need to know is I'm very needle-phobic, and I've been that way since I was like 2 years old. If I see a needle, it's like I turn into like a baby again. But I have to put a needle in my thigh every week, because that's just like a part of the process. And so this is me trying to write an ode to something that I actually really hate to do. I'm on the I think 200th time of doing it, and it still gives me fright. And my sharps container is just the container that the needles go in after I've done it. Ode to my sharps container. Holder of loose blood. Taker of contraptions I use when I'm brave enough to save myself. Visual reminder that I can do it. Former container of pickles, so you smell like sour victory. Glass house of my gender. Chest hair maker. Every interaction at the coffee shop, on the phone with medical providers, every nervous laughter after checking the sex on my ID comes down to you, my ass hair activator. Sidebar, they don't tell you that. When you have testosterone in your body, all of a sudden you get ass hair. I was flabbergasted. Okay, back in poem. Restitution for a 20-year gap between who I was and could be. My balding beauty. Conjurer of my wildest dreams, ones I've dreamed since I was 13. Activist, advocate, apt to be who believes in me. Tallying up all my tea and all my boys who didn't get to be boys. Heaven sent. Heaven's back door, roping me up through the vent. Thank you. Believe it or not, I used to be emo, okay? So I think it's just if you grew up in the early 2000s, right? You were in the age of the golden age of MTV. And so you saw these white boys on TV all the time. And it was a really big deal for me when I learned, oh, there are black emos, right? And I really, for a while, was into this artist, Rico Nasty. Does anybody know who that is? Okay. Yes, all three of y'all. I appreciate that. So I was really into her music, and this poem really is just about me going to a Rico Nasty concert with my friends. Tales of Taco Bella, or I live on like black rock stars. Like the night I spent 2 hours in the Texas sun, sweating AC units from my pores. Like waiting to rage with black teens dressed in black with white boyfriends squinting in glasses on their leather leashes. Like the door, whooshing in cold air and hitting the posse I thought was my posse in the face. Like the tickets, sweaty in our hands as the doorman scanned them. Like Rico coming out after 2 hours of swag surfing, turning our bodies side to side. Like my camera, getting unbelievably shaky from the jumping up and down with internet friends. Like the hoarseness after screaming and taking up so much of the audio and footage. Like Taco Bell seeming tasty after 4 hours of sweaty, belly empty ecstasy. Like the boy who decided to mosh himself into a health hazard so Rico had to get off stage. Like the quesadilla. So cheesy, it spilled all over my Daisy Dukes, like my sticky skin, like skid mark nail polish that started to fade away as the day happened, like tectonics, like bitch I'm nasty, playing in my head randomly for weeks after. I like you, like Taco Bella misses the times when kids could just be kids. Ditch school to see rock stars, heavy with bass and disgusting feelings that felt like prayers to a place where we live longer. Thank you. All right, I'm 2 and done. She walks so I could skip and jump. I think about my queer ancestors a lot, about the people who made it possible for me to be an out trans person like comfortably. I think about the discomfort that I feel living through a very anti-trans moment in America right now, and how so many of my trans sisters had to do the same thing, but under worse conditions. So this poem is really acknowledging that, and also just acknowledging like being queer and on 4th Street. So, she walked so I could skip and jump. Praise to the butchers turned boys in crop tops, to the queens who crown drag and heels as their only heaven. Praise to Essex, to Audrey, to James and his gap tooth. Praise to these guys and their freedom to be when they safe enough. To the candy-painted Barbie play from a boy who loves to watch me twist. To the ladies who get to be ladies when streetlights and club strobes gleam. To the boys with dollar bills for them that come cooing when they need something real. To those who carry my truth, I give praise. I give praise to the ladies and gentle hymns who taught me how to mandate some goddamn respect. I speak to baby. Tell her what y'all taught me about justice. How it can be a broadcast or a taste of safety between baby and our bed. How it can seem non-negotiable, but women who come behind me had to wish for it by singing into kitchen windows, begging God to let their husbands stay away. I praise you, sisters and otherwise, for this gender. A weapon I use to wage love and lose seldom. I praise you, kings, I keep with me when I let my truth dance. On the right night, 'cause of you, I know how to let loose. Thank you. Okay, one last poem, and then I'm gonna walk off stage and act like I didn't just go, and then walk back on and introduce Deborah. Let's all just act like it didn't happen, all right? This last one is called LimeWire. I don't know if y'all know what LimeWire is. Do y'all know what LimeWire is? Okay. The other day, I went to a high school and gave a presentation, and I told them that I was in college during the first Trump administration, and one little black girl's like mouth, she was like, "How old are you?" I was like, "Girl, I'm not that old." So when I do stuff like LimeWire, like sometimes it dates me, but I feel okay in this crowd, okay? Y'all won't scrutinize me and call me a boomer or whatever. LimeWire taught me patience. How I wished upon every planet it wouldn't give my computer a virus. That it would move from 60 to 70% sometime in the next 20 minutes. I had to get off the desktop by then. It plopped out every Y2K bop I learned to swiftly find amongst all the broken links. Every song that got me through basketball tournaments and made some pretty girl say, "Damn, you got all the jams." Every involuntary smile I cracked so hard till I realized I left a T-Pain album downloading on accident. Damn, LimeWire won over my hard drive. Mama had to get uncle to detoxify the computer, so LimeWire taught me about money. How joy isn't pure without casualties, and they never want me to have it. But I did anyway. I could swim through this world with my tracks. Though my iPod Nano got mocked, cause kids were bent on stealing each other's carbon copy beauty. Listen to me. Let's skip algebra to watch the green and yellow lime go, and go, and go. Thank you. Let's give it up for KB Brookins. Damn. That was so good, I want to give them a book deal at $50,000. That's what you should be saying. So our next poet is Deborah D. Mouton. Y'all are in for a treat. She is one of my favorite poets. Deborah D.E.E.P. Mouton is an award-winning literary artist, director, performer, and the first Black Poet Laureate of Houston, Texas. That's a big deal, y'all. She authored Newsworthy, out with Bloomsday Literary, and Black Chameleon, an award-winning and really great, might I add, memoir. All right? Mouton has contributed to Glamour, Texas Monthly, and ESPN's Landscape. She's a former resident artist with American Lyric Theater, Rice University, and the Houston Museum of African American Culture. Her works include a children's book, because we multi-genre in this house, and an opera at Chicago Opera Theater. One thing about her, every time I watch her do her thing, I am in awe. I've seen you moderate, I've seen you read, and it's all beautiful. And I can only hope to command the stage in the way that you do. I can only hope to have as big of a heart as you do. So please, give it up for Deborah D.E.E.P. Mouton.
No pressure, right? I'm super excited to be here for a lot of reasons. I drove in from Houston because of that one right there. Amanda is brilliant. We all know this. We all agree. If you don't, leave. But I think as brilliant as you are, the legacy that you're making, I just don't think you understand how much it's moving the needle for us. I don't think you understand how many doors you're opening for us, and I don't think you understand how seen you make us feel. I had the pleasure of being one of Torch's resident artists last summer, and I came to that residency completely deflated. I had gotten some really, really bad information from someone who I trust about my career, who basically told me, like, you have to execute your next book, which is the thing that every writer wants to hear when sitting down to be creative, right? And had completely just lost my ability to write. The critic in my head was so loud. And sitting with Amanda, her team, and the other women that were part of that retreat for 6 or 7 days, I don't even know how many days it was a lot and beautiful. It was a lot. I left writing another 3,500 words. I now am at the second draft of a full-length novel. And that is because of the work that you do. You validate us. You make us know that our words are necessary in ways that I don't know that you'll ever really come to terms with, but we're gonna just keep trying to tell you how amazing you are. And so, for the power that Amanda brings, I wanna read some new work. Yeah, is that okay? I woke up November 6th with feelings. For all the Black girls, don't ask us where we put our capes. Aprons, chains, wands, look to us to cast a Black girl spell or conjure an escape. Don't question how we arrived to this place. You drew the map too from memory. Query how we were survived yet again, like we hold some traumaless magic we can use to build a railroad out of an underground paved with your patriotism. Don't ask us how we tilled or buried or plucked, how to build back what you constantly burn down. When the country ashens or turns to salt, you were the ones determined to look back with fondness, to lust for the past with a praising eye, to thirst for slavery's nostalgia like a sun-steeped tea in an open field. You craved cottonmouth and the familiar scent of charred corpses. Missed the picnics, cherished photos beneath swaying bodies dug from beneath your beds and cupped against your chest. The good deal of a lynched foot strung around your neck for luck. A pickled nigger cures all. But when the doors swing open while you're sleeping, when the militia comes and doesn't ask for your papers, pulls you from your American dreams, do not look for your mammies and Jezebels. Do not try to summon Sapphire's rage. We are not the matriarchs of this great America you pine for. Oh, country, 'tis of thee. Don't ask us for God's address when you realize you never knew where he lived. This time, none of us are coming to save you. This country has been a lot lately, y'all. And that's that's not to go into politics, but I think for myself, like I turned everything off. I unsubscribed from New York Times. I was like, bye, friend. We gonna catch up in a few years. I was like, I don't need morning reminders that the world is burning. Appreciate you. Love you. But still, I find that there's moments that it all kind of creeps in on me. And yesterday, I really found myself like trying to catch my breath, and a poem that had been wrestling with me for quite a while started to come out. And I immediately thought of you, Amanda, because I was like, to wear so many hats, right? Like y'all see Amanda out here doing it, but like the wife, the mom, the poet, the activist, the one that's getting pushed back on. I mean, there are a lot of things that nobody will ever know. And I know as a first what that feels like. To walk in a room with an entire community on your back and know that the decisions you make affect everybody willing to come into that room after you. And I'm so gracious for the way that you've come in the door and taken it off its hinges. So, one of the things I think Torch does really well, yeah, you could clap for that. One of the things that I love Torch does is really amplifying the legacy and the lineage of Black women writers. And one of my favorite pieces is by Jamaica Kincaid Girl. Y'all know this piece, yes? If you don't, you should know it, so go read it because it's dope. And it really is a conversation between her mother and her on the expectations of womanhood. And I started thinking through that as muse, so this is for Jamaica Kincaid. It is called Girl 2025, but it is GURL because this is where we at, y'all. I need to sweep the floor. I made a mess braiding 3 heads of hair and relocking another. Bits of hair keep getting caught between my toes and making it hard not to slip on the hardwood, or not exactly hardwood, more like plywood, tiles, cheap builder grade. That's why it's been peeling up by the back door after the last rain. I really need to call someone to fix those. And the hole in the door jamb. The ants keep coming in and I'm allergic. I should really refill my EpiPen before it's too late and I have a serious reaction, but I haven't picked up my daughter's prescription from 2 days ago. I meant to pick it up on my way back from the cleaners, but the check engine light came on and the ice cream was melting. I should really switch to popsicles. They're healthier for the kids. I had a report on my feed that said to avoid high fructose corn syrup, it heightens ADHD in children. I worry about my son's focus often, how he can't seem to finish tasks. He always has that pile of clean clothes in the hallway. It keeps getting mixed up with the dirty clothes. I forgot to put the clothes in the dryer. I hope they're not mildewed. Last time I couldn't get the smell out. I had to throw the towels away. We are running short on towels. I hear Target's having a sale, but I can't shop there because of the boycott. I mean, I wonder if Costco has some, but they're so far away. And the check engine light, and it's getting close to my Zoom meeting, and if I miss this one, I might lose funding on that project, and the project is already at risk because it's too Black, too woman, too queer, too woke. I woke up at 5 this morning and I was already behind schedule. Forgot to make the kids' lunches last night, stayed up after midnight trying to make time for my husband, binge watch a show or answer his needs, but the entire time I just kept thinking how dirty the screen was. The kids really need to wash their hands, but how will they dry them without any towels? I really need to put a load in the laundry, really need to answer that call. It might be the pharmacy, might be my mother. I'm all she's got since dad is gone, and what if she needs me? What if she can't reach me? What if I can't answer? Might miss something important. Might be the kids' school saying another theme day is coming, and I have had the hardest time finding a cyan t-shirt to represent responsibility. What if they think my kids aren't responsible? Did anyone take out the chicken for dinner? Everything's frozen because it's cheaper to buy in bulk, but who needs 10 pounds of popsicles? And where am I supposed to put 30 pounds of chicken? And if someone forgets to defrost it, we have to eat out. And eating out is expensive and unhealthy. And the last thing we need is one more toxin in our bodies. I've been growing my own bell peppers for weeks, but they haven't come in yet. I wonder if I'm giving them enough water. Am I drinking enough water? Getting enough exercise? I need to lose weight, but will my kids feel like there's enough of me left? Do they feel like I'm gone too much? I mean, I try to balance, but I'm always tired and I can't get out of the bed, but I can't fall asleep at night. It's probably all the blue light after 9, but it didn't get to send that email, and there's always more breaking news, more bodies falling or getting deported. Am I still an activist if I don't repost? Am I a good daughter if I miss her call? Am I a bad person if I can't round up my change for the impoverished children at the checkout line every time? I'm just trying to stay afloat, but there's always someone else drowning, and I don't want to forget my privilege, and I don't want to sound ungrateful, and I'm just trying to be a good woman, and I don't want to ask for too much help because other people have so much on their plates, and I need to thaw, the chicken needs to be washed, and the dish soap is down to the last drop because I didn't make it to Costco, and the chicken is still frozen, and the kids are complaining they're hungry, and I can't afford one more Uber Eats delivery fee, but eating raw chicken is hazardous to your health. What isn't hazardous to your health? And the seconds keep passing, and the day never seems long enough, and their hair keeps growing, and when am I gonna get to sweep the damn floor? Good. So y'all, I read that to my mom, and I was like waiting to see what she said, and then she just goes, and she laughed in my face, y'all, and then said, sounds like your anxiety wrote a poem. And I was like, you know what? I love you a lot, but that was shady, okay? My life. So talking about becoming a mother, I think it's definitely shaped how I think about I represent this world, how I make space for others. It's that legacy building that you're doing, right? Torch is your baby just as much as your babies are. And so thinking about what you're putting back into this world, I want to pay homage to a little bit of the mothers. When I decided to become a mother, people warned me that having a child is forever having your heart float around outside your body. After birthing 2 hatchlings in the Gulf, I now know motherhood is not being any less than human. It is more about learning to envelop the sea, watching your skin soft to slick to suckle to cradle, trading your blind spot for the infinity of sight lines, each surge of hormones turning us more cephalopod. And if I never believed in evolution, my daughter confirmed me a sea monster. My son made me more Ursula, a sea witch in drag. Did you know that an octopus has 3 hearts? One to take all the rejection life sends, and the other 2 for the pearls we breathe for. My children's midnight rising are my palpitation. Their tangled sleep is me wrestling my tentacles. The hardest part is not looking away when I see my ink blooming in them. This world has tried to tell me I can't have it all, the abyss and the surface too. I respond with my children's laughter, my confidence a constant and camouflage. My spirit has scraped the bottom of the ocean more times than I want to admit, turning man into nightmare and expectation into sinkhole. But my children give the poor unfortunate of my soul venom and a song. Give me a reason to unearth myself from the sand every dawn, scheme us into a better sea, and I wouldn't trade a limb for them, wouldn't beg for bones or legs. I'm happy drowning my sadness in their saltwater cure. Did you know that a mother can swallow a ship whole? If you come for her offspring, she will drag you under. Davy Jones is just a woman after too many miscarriages. I have a heart in that locker too. When we have been stretched to distant oceans, when the pirates of work and school and sleep and this stage have stolen our collective chest bump, diverted our propulsion, we be devilfish, lightly touching barbs to get used to their cut. We are not hard. We are not a divided tether. We are an 8-legged doomsday, unfurling nets curled inside us to seem larger than we are. Motherhood is a monstrosity waiting to surge. It is a strangling safety. It is knowing that you have all the reasons to whirlpool and are just waiting on the moment to release. So, my memoir, Black Chameleon, blends, thank you. It blends new mythology for Black American women with stories about the Black women in my family. And I found myself at the end of it, having collected all of these stories, really looking at an arc of thinking about what worship looks like and what all these things look like. And my editor looked at me and said, what does praise look like? What is worship, right? She was like, you have all of these sacrifice, you have prayer, you have all these things, but like, what does worship look like in your body? And I really took some time to think about it and wrote about it, but I never read this piece. And I did once recently, and everybody was like, why is that not the excerpt you always read? And I think we forget sometimes that worship lives in our bodies before it lives outside of our bodies. And there's something really beautiful about that. Now, when I choose to turn this house of bones into a temple for my worthy lover, I am not ashamed. I am no longer hold myself in or dim myself in the shadows. Instead, I ask that he remove his shoes, his clothes, that he washes his hands and face. This here be holy ground. I reassure him that sin hasn't found its way here for centuries. Ask that he leave every burden he has carried at the door, that he be light, be an empty vessel, and I will teach him all the ways his body knows how to fill. We will make ourselves a kind of sacrament, the kind that humbles him to his knees at my altar, that asks him to break my flesh and drink my wine, that makes him remember me in every iteration and sheen, that makes him kiss the stigmata of my past attempts at surviving and reminds me that I am ever resurrecting. Then I become the kind of tabernacle that makes the songs of angels resound from the rafters at his entrance. Blessed be the slick and bending walls that push us closer together, that join our sweat in a sea of salvation. Blessed be the speaking of tongues, this trembling skin, the steeple that stretches the sanctuary still, the shrill of praise that permeates like Pentecost, the unveiled and open. Blessed be the fire that they shut up in my bones and all the ways I let it out. Be the way I bend and become one thing or another, and he and my hips are in inseparable worship, and I do not repent for pressing him down or all that runs over and out of me, and he takes every warm blessing that swells all around him, counts it all joy, and I do not become a split-level chapel for him. Do not break or try to hold myself in or force myself to convert to someone else's shadowed belief. I get to be in full apotheosis, and I am not ashamed. Okay, last piece, we're gonna do some other new stuff. So I recently, shameless plug to myself, I guess, I don't know, we're celebrating all of it. I recently got a day in Houston. So October 4th is officially Deborah D. Mouton Day in the city of Houston. Which is a little bananas. But it feels really good, and I needed to write some poems for the day, because that's what they want you to do. And I really struggled with finding those moments to praise ourselves. And I started thinking about Amanda and the work you've done in praise song, and thinking about what it means for our ordinary lives to take up space in praise. And so I'm going to end with a poem of praise. Sound good? Yeah. And then I'll turn it back over to the brilliant KB, whose poems are ridiculous, and I love reading all of your work. So. This poem is a parade. When I was young, every year my grandparents would wake me before the sky earned its color. Football carry me if they had to. Walk the length of 10 Niles with Pied Piper's trail of cousins, a couple of ladders, and a 2x4 slung across my grandfather's shoulders to arrive at his spot. A carved out patch of concrete he paid somebody under the table to keep empty. Side note, my grandparents took us to the Rose Parade every single year for 10 years, right? Crazy. I grew up in LA, so yeah. We would sit there, legs swinging wildly from above, demanding more mini marshmallows in our canteens of cocoa, like they held a warmth made for breaking the chill of January brisk in LA. Then the parade would start. These giant creations born from bloom, hundreds of thousands of roses pulled at their peak to become the mouth of a lion, or sleeping Snoopy, or months of work turned into a back warehouse for a 10-second drive-by. Beauty queens waving one after another. My grandfather, who rarely had time to give a compliment, held captive for hours in celebration of nothing more than the new year. This moment of time spent together. I must admit, I have a hard time celebrating myself. I still know how to rise before the sky blues, still know how to become a 2x4 stretch between two ladders, dependable. My mind is a utility box of preemptive needs, but I still haven't got down the sitting still part. I'm trying. The present is a trick I haven't figured out how to unwrap. The future is a siren singing my name. It is so easy to set sail for a what if than it is to deal with the grief of a what was it. I'm still licking my wounds from the last 6 losses social media doesn't know about. I'm still trying to accept that you can't smell the roses from 40,000 feet. And on a day like today, celebrating me feels more like a New Year's daydream, feels like a 5th ace in a poker hand that I've been playing all night. I roped you in too, feels like a flower picked at full bloom for a 10-second drive-by. Y'all, I'm just trying to figure out how to float. Sometimes all you can do is Janelle Monáe your way into a new season, so I offer this parade of a poem. I am flying my flags at full mast. Higher elevation demands a different patience, and I've known to be too quick to move on to what's next. Too concerned with what will win. Macy's Day is around the corner. I want to bask in this flower-pocked moment for as long as you'll let me. Want to stop and pick your daisy smiles at their peak. Want to craft a living legacy from chicken wire and over 20 years of sacrifice, poetry slams, 50 yards lines. I want to pirate every performance for its peonied hides, prune every play for its birds of paradise. I want to lift every libretti to the light and watch how the night bloom like jasmine. We can do this together. Every breath we take can be an oversized balloon of awe. Every step be a carnation moment that our ancestors held in time and space just to see how grand we always were. And if life is only a matter of seconds strung together like roses, I pray every day be worthy of the kind of stillness that happens before sunrise or on a Thursday evening in Austin, Texas, legs swinging wildly, demanding more mini marshmallows in our cocoa or champagne in our glass, ready to see what beautiful thing comes around the corner for us next. Thank you.
Give it up for Deborah D. Y'all, I told y'all, she's about to light the stage on fire. One of my favorite performers. Thank you so much for that work. Please remind the crowd about these books that you just read from.
Yes, Newsworthy is my poetry collection.
It sure is.
Is my memoir.
Yes. Crowd, are we buying Newsworthy and or Black Chameleon today? Excuse me. I'll personally come and bully each of y'all. Yeah, go to your local independent bookstore. It is one not too far away from here, one of my favorite ones called Black Pearl Books. They are, to my knowledge, the only Black-owned bookstore in Austin. So get these books from there. I would like it. I'm gonna just look at y'all menacingly. But yeah, so we are ready for our next act, which is none other than the Amanda Johnston. I'm gonna read Amanda's bio because it is pretty robust and great. Amanda Johnston is a writer, visual artist, and the 2024 Texas Poet Laureate. I want to also say, as part of Texas Poet Laureate, she also won this very prestigious fellowship with the Academy of American Poets. Now, y'all, that means that not only did she do the praise song for the People Project, but she actually paid writers. That's a big deal, all right? Because us poets, yes, let's clap for that. Yes. Because the poets in the room will tell you, sometimes they be trying to pay the girls in drink tickets. You know? They be trying to pay us in, oh my God, that was so great. So she paid us in dollars, y'all. And put money back into Texas poetry. So I just want to especially thank you for that. And these poets are going to be published too. There is an anthology of the Praise Song for the People Project coming out with Host Publications. Let's give it up for that. Right? It matters. It matters to have these words in print. So nobody can ever say that they didn't exist. You know? There's so much concerted effort in this country to erase, right, the history of our people, erase dissenting opinions. And I'll tell you, I've looked through the Praise Song for the People website. There are lots of dissenting opinions for the overall narrative that Texas is trying to give us, y'all. So that work is so important. So please get that book when it comes out too. But back to Amanda's bio. She earned an MFA in creative writing from the University of Southern Maine. She is the author of 2 chapbooks, GUAP and Lock Key, and the full-length collection, Another Way to Say Enter. Now this book, y'all, it's really awesome. And like, I like that you can like kind of put it in your pocket too. Like, ask Amanda about it. It's an astonishing collection. Her work has appeared in many print publications. A couple of my favorites on here, Callaloo, an amazing publication, Poetry Magazine, Puerto del Sol, Muzzle, and many anthologies, including the Furious Flower anthology. Shout out to them too. She's received fellowships, grants, and awards from many places, of them Cave Canem, Tasajillo, which is a local one, Hedgebrook. She is a very accomplished writer. Also, one of her favorite roles that I have and that we all benefit from is the executive director of Torch Literary Arts, right? An organization specifically for Black women writers. And y'all, I think Amanda deserves all of the energy in the room right now. So if you can, please get up on your feet for Amanda Johnston. Clap, clap, clap.
Y'all have no idea. Thank you doesn't cut it. I've been sitting over there crying, and I don't promise that I won't cry up here. Sharon Bridgeforth, dear friend and mentor, told me once that when you cry, it just means you're present. Thank you for letting me be present. Gratitude always first. KB and Deborah Mouton, I love you. I'm so grateful that I get to be on this planet, in this time, in this space, sharing oxygen with y'all. You inspire me. You make me feel seen. I'm grateful. Thank you. All of you here, you have no idea. That poem, Deborah, I'm sorry, I was about to run out the room with all of the things that I know I need to do. Did I do this? Did I do this? Did I do that? You have no idea everything that it takes to show up for everyone that you love, that you care for, that you want to be there for. And then see if there's any little piece of scrap left for yourself. I am blessed, and I give praise that I have a life now, finally, that truly melds all of that together. What you see in Torch, what you see in my work as Texas Poet Laureate, what you see that I do in the world is because I also have the love at home from an incredible family. Thank you to my family, my daughters, my mother, my dear, dear husband, Fabian. He knows, he sees. And because of that love, I'm able to put 1,000% into this work. And I hope you feel even just a fraction of the love that I receive in return from each one of you. You being here was a choice. I know how hard it is to get up, to leave the house when everything is so heavy. But when we do, when we dare to step outside and be a part of our community, the reward we get is each other, is joy, is the life and the community that we actually dream of and want to see in the world. So thank you for saying yes to that life, yes to being in community with each other, and coming out tonight to be here. Give praise. The title for tonight's event was not just about me being acknowledged as Texas Poet Laureate. It is truly about giving praise for each and every one of us. This work is often thankless. My dear, dear team, Brittany, Elena, Jay, my amazing board, and friends and community kept asking when I was named 2024 Texas Poet Laureate, what's gonna happen? Is there something, there should be some kind of ceremony, something to come to. And no, that didn't happen. And it didn't happen for like someone else and not me, it just didn't happen. And we kind of hit the ground running. And I appreciate the love from those closest to me who said, not today, not this time. We're gonna take a moment to acknowledge the moment. And as far as being the first Black woman to be Texas Poet Laureate. It's not lost on me what that means, especially knowing that the state of Texas has had a Poet Laureate since the 1930s. Where some other states, for example, Michigan has only just announced their third Poet Laureate. Texas knows and values poetry and understands the power that poets bring. So it's not lost on me to be the first Black woman, but what matters most to me is that I'm not the last. So stay showing up, speaking out, and demanding that our cultural, artistic communities reflect our diverse communities, our inclusive communities, our intersectional, queer, BIPOC communities that are a more accurate representation of this place we call home in Texas. All right, poems. I realize some of you may not have seen me read poems very much. If you've been coming to Torch events, you're like, Amanda's not reading. No, because I'm working, right? Torch is what I do with the incredible team to make space for the other amazing Black women writers and community of BIPOC and non-binary folks in our community to come and share their work. So I do write poems though. And so I'm gonna share a couple from the book, Another Way to Say Enter. Yes, and if some of you like, how can I get the book? I'm so sorry, it is sold out. That's a good problem to have. However, I do believe in giving it away. So there's a lot free online, there's a lot on my website on amandajohnston.com, and new work coming soon, including that anthology of praise songs. So we've got new work coming soon. But I'm gonna share a couple poems from the book and then a couple of the new poems from Praise Song. Breaking from the cell you've decorated nicely. Force the skeleton key into the antique lock. Feel the tumbler resist, then give. Your hand shakes at the opening of freedom unleashed. Domicile, okay, we're talking about dating ourselves, KB. Who knows Luther Vandross? Okay, there's my people, I know. If you go out, you better know who Luther Vandross is. All right, domicile. A chair is not a house, and a house is not a home. Luther Vandross. Tucked under an overpass, a bedroom with no walls. A soiled rug divides highway soot and city from what is claimed as home. In the center, a queen bed with fitted sheets and a turned-down comforter. Dusty pillows wait for tired heads under tons of concrete and steel, trusting the weight of the world will not come crashing down. Is love made in that bed? Does the world watch and discover this bead of life on display? Its glint of, yes, this too is a life worth sharing. I consider my home cookie cutter stability in a shaky market. How would my life fit under a bridge? Would there be room for the fridge, racks of shoes, a second living room set? Is the TV enough? Its blank face reflecting our empty arms, wayward dreams? Would my heart remember, for better or worse, for richer or poorer, that kiss of vows that bind us through what may come, pillows on the bed we've made? No good deed goes unpunished. I see the white man driving next to me and consider every scenario of this moment as we approach a red light and what's at risk if I lower my window, expose my daughter and myself to the unknown repercussions of kindness. I calculate the risk involved to tell him his gas cap is open. His face, a concoction of morning traffic and time, ignores my initial honk and gesture toward his tank. My daughter asks, "Is it safe?" I assure her I'll smile, be soft, do all the right things that in no way guarantee we'll survive this human interaction should he see danger, a threat in my concerned black woman face. I honk again. I refuse to live in a world where we're too afraid to do what's right. The man turns toward our car, aware now of our existence, and the immediate future rests in his lap and what's beyond my understanding. He nods and drives off, gas cap dangling. My daughter corrects me, "No, Mama, the gas, is it safe?" And I'm lost in meaning. What is safe in this burning for survival? Jesus be a prayer. Jesus be a fence. Jesus be a moat. Jesus be a back door. Jesus be a friend. Jesus be a payday. Jesus be a hookup. Jesus be a minute. Jesus be a minute. Jesus be a credit. Jesus be a discount. Jesus be a lover. Jesus be a kiss. Jesus be a nap. Jesus be a car. Jesus be a dance. Jesus be a drink. Jesus be a jam. Jesus be a no. Jesus be an exit. Jesus be a home. Jesus be a Monday. Jesus be a Friday. Jesus be a vacay. Jesus be a today. Jesus be a stillness. Jesus be a coffee. Jesus be a stillness. Jesus be a minute. Jesus be a minute. Jesus be a miracle. Jesus be amen. Time for onions. And this poem, it has a little bit of wordplay there. So time as in the herb and time as in time. Time for onions. Onions have left fetal tears beneath French-tipped fingernails, along with green brother pepper and sweet sister Aki, mixing in a lazy yellow river down a new wife's spicy palm. This is not his mama's recipe. No instructions came for planting little boys in a hill of rice and peas to cultivate men of clay and salt, water-willing kidney beans to split, ready to receive the time, make the time, to fold new love with old in this foreign woman's pepper pot placed at a young bride's bland feet, quickly stirring, slowly contemplating, seasons changing, and the feeling of kneading dough, needing to mold fresh offerings for a displaced heart still hungry for Kingston. I love you, dear. All right, one last poem from the book and then a couple praise poems. I Embrace You, after Joy Harjo. I'm so grateful that Joy Harjo, who was the first Indigenous and still only Indigenous woman to be U.S. Poet Laureate. I had the great pleasure and privilege to be one of her students. So she has this really famous poem about releasing fear. And I was sitting with that poem and I kept wondering, then what is on the opposite side of that? So once you release the fear, then what? I embrace you, joy. I embrace you, my difficult and bright yellow joy. I embrace you. You are my dusk and dawn anew. I know you, my reflection, my face. I embrace you with arms I would open to a lover and a friend. You are my beating heart. I take you for the innocent who scream happiness loud as cannon fire. I take you in my mouth. Clean water runs through my veins. I embrace you, joy, as you were born in my likeness, through hands' welcoming touch. I embrace you, I embrace you, I embrace you. I am not afraid to know sorrow. I am not afraid to feel pain. I am not afraid to laugh. I am not afraid to sing. I am not afraid to be other. I am not afraid to be here. I am not afraid to be light. I am not afraid to dance, to dance, to dance. Joy, you have spun me and I showed you my waist. You have held me and I release all my weight. You have cried with me and I watch our water join. I give myself to you, joy. You are the light on my face, the magic behind my eyes, my ears, my voice, my belly, my heart, my heart, my heart, my heart, my heart. Come here, joy. I am alive, and you are the reason why. Thank you. All right, so there's a few poems from Praise Song. Thank you so much for sharing about Praise Song. It has been my pleasure and a lot of work, I ain't gonna lie. Because Texas is a big state, right? And for those of you who might not know, poet laureates, right, are not like, wash, rinse, repeat across the country. So many places, as I mentioned, don't have a laureate. Some do. It can be from a whole state, the United States, or it can be a town, or an organization, or your library can appoint a poet laureate. So it comes with different responsibilities and expectations. And Texas actually has zero expectations. It is it's a distinction of merit, right? And which I'm grateful for extremely. But it didn't come with like set terms, like you do this, you do that, you have to do a project. But of course, being Texas Poet Laureate, I wanted to do something that was going to amplify other poets across the state, many poets who, KB and Deborah obviously could be Texas Poet Laureates, right? So celebrating the amazing talent that is here in this state, and also the incredible people who make this state great. So Praise Song for the People became my statewide project. And yes, I did receive the Academy of American Poets Laureate Fellowship. Be able to commission 70 poets to write their praise poems, celebrating, I say an everyday person, I'm an everyday person, we're everyday people, but I was like, not Beyonce, we love Beyonce, she is, we are proud to have her in Texas, but there are so many people who are, as KB says, sitting right next to you, who are making this the place we choose to call home. So I want to first read a poem by another poet who's a part of the project, April Sojourner Truth Walker. And she was one of the first poets to contribute to the project. And this is her poem, In Praise of the Cleaning Lady. In praise of the cleaning lady, who sees me frenzied, charging to the back of the women's bathroom, looking for a place to nurse my newborn son. She who asks, what you looking for? And doesn't hesitate to direct me to the museum's administrative offices, whispers, turn left when you get out the elevator, go down just a little and you'll find a family restroom. To the cleaning lady, short like my big mama, but slight like my sister, chocolate like my aunties, with hair pulled neatly in a ponytail, standing behind a trash cart, emptying the handicapped stall. She who tells me, go on up, I'll be there in a few. The cleaning lady, whose knock on the restroom door startles me, whose firm voice breaks the silence surrounding me and my newborn son, suckling soft and secure. She who says, you in there, honey? I want to make sure you're okay. So whenever, I read these poems on Praise Song, yes, you can read them for free, praisesongforthepeople.com. I am in awe of the beauty in the small moments that are actually big moments. Because think about that. You're with your newborn child, desperately looking for a place to feed them. And a stranger says, I got you. Let me help you. And checks back on you. That's something that can save someone's life, right? So I wrote a couple poems. I invited myself to write and stay, vulnerable. I say invite instead of challenge, because the poems, I will write one praise song for the project that will come at the very end. My focus has been on amplifying other voices. But I have been also curating readings. I felt it was important to be in person across the state. So I've been getting on planes, y'all, and I've been driving, and we've had readings here in Austin, of course, but also in Dallas and down in McAllen. We are going to have a reading up in Canyon later this month, and then we'll be in Houston and in San Antonio, and I will be there to host and celebrate these incredible poets everywhere. But I wanted to write a poem each day of the reading, when there were readings, so that I was always looking for moments to praise, because they're always there, and be vulnerable, that, the poems are not precious. The poems are purposeful. You gotta get them out first. So to stay writing and being observant of all of the moments of praise. So I'm gonna read 3 praise poems. Praise song for Saint Andrea of Taco Bell. Taco Bell kind of a theme. Yeah. Praise song for Saint Andrea of Taco Bell, November 29, 2024. You don't see the clouds I carry. The storm of the day, difficult weather beating upside my head from a place I can't name but need shelter from when I go to the nearest place that will take my money and let me sit alone in a booth in the corner of nowhere. And there you were, Saint Andrea, reading my face like stars. I look up and your smile of gold caps on each tooth lights up my world. You okay? You say, nah, say nothing. Don't have to. The help my heart would have called for came right on time with you. Bat crossing. 10 million bats. 20 million little wings flutter out from under the Congress Street Bridge in the blue-pink ombre of dusk. The photo in the Austin airport captured the moment so perfectly, I had to take a pic. In the frantic airport traffic, millions of little feet about to soar, I stop and fumble with my phone, apps, angles, my tiny desire to witness. The man sees me, stops and waits. A flock of people move around us. He waits, and for a few seconds, we hover over a tiny cloud of kindness. I get the shot, and we float on. Praise the little moments of seeing. Praise the pause and patience we share in the pixelated moments of life. About that poem, obviously you heard the poem, and so it was in the Austin airport, right? And there's this great photo, and I want to take a photo of the photo, and this man just stops. He could have went around me, there was plenty of room, but he just patiently waits. I get my photo, and I turn to him and I say, "You're kind, thank you." Guess who was sitting next to me on the plane? Elbow to elbow, you know how tight planes are, right? The man is sitting next to me on the plane, and I was like, wow. Like, we weren't even by our gate or nothing. There was no way to know we would even be flying to the same place. And then I thought, what if that interaction was nasty? What if he came over and was like, oh my God, you're in my way. And I was like, oh, you can go around. And then we'd be on a flight for 2 hours, elbow to elbow. So I was just grateful in that moment for the kindness that he shared with me, that I received in the moment of seeing. And then to take it a bit further, because sometimes I feel like these things are divine. And I'm flying on the plane, leaving. I was going down to McAllen. I was leaving McAllen and going to Houston to see my husband and go to a Houston Texans football game. Go Texans! And there was a moment with a couple on the plane. You know how people kind of jump up right as the plane lands, and it's like, bruh, you're in row 28. Where are you going? It's gonna be a minute. And I found myself getting frustrated, right? That people were doing that, and I finally had to talk myself back and say, be calm, we all gonna get off this plane. You don't know why people are trying to hurry up. There might be a reason why they need to get off. Just show some grace. So I took a breath, waited. The people behind me who were rushing actually helped me get my bag down. We all got off the plane. I go to the Houston Texans game, 70,000 people. Who's sitting right behind me? I'm not joking. Sitting right over my shoulder, out of 70,000 people, is the couple who was sitting right behind me on the plane. And I looked up at the sky, I was like, I get it, God. We are all closer than we realize. Kindness is not only an option, it's the option. Choose kindness, grace, and be caring for those around you as you would want them to be to you. All right, my last poem from the praise song poems is Roadside Attraction, October 30th, 2024. On I-35, you're bound to see it. A car on the side of the road, a flat tire, smoking engine, some major inconvenience on the way forward through time and space. Rubberneckers gawk, mumbling, poor thing, and keep on keeping on. But more often than not, a car or truck pulls up behind the one in need, and someone crawls out with a concerned brow and helping hands. The tire is changed, a tow truck is called, a gas can magically appears and all is moving again. More often than not, we say yes when asked, do you need some help? More often than not, we see each other without judgment, questions, dividing lines. We cross the median and lean to the shoulder. Praise those who come when called. Praise those who come heart first. So much. I have one more poem, but again, gratitude and praise. Thank you to the Carver Museum. Thank you to every round of applause for the Carver Museum. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Chris. Thank you to everyone who makes this place possible. This is a home. This is a hub for culture, and all of us belong here. And I'm so grateful that you continue to open the doors and welcome us back time after time. Thank you. This last poem I wrote in praise of all of the women, people, community of Torch. That includes all of you. So we carry the torch. Listen, a spark, a low whisper growing in the filament of the mind. This is how the future begins. Can you hear it? A low murmur rises to give way to impulse, and the wheels of creation are called to spin. Can you feel it? How we, earthbound miracles, paint pictures with words, start fire with a flick of our tongues, a blaze burning from our beating hearts. Can you see it? The light we carry across the page, across the world, a future that greets us with each bright new day when we dare to carry the torch within. Thank you.
like, I used to cry, or tell me it all the time, like, I'm about to cry, I'm sorry. And she's like, don't apologize. And I don't know, I'm a crybaby now. Thank you for letting me be present in moments. So yeah, everyone give it up one more time for me. Just like Deborah said, just like Katie said, you really do see everyone that you interact with and encourage us to just be ourselves and just take up space and be happy and be us and write. Because, yeah, right. So, and we just, everyone in this room appreciates you. Everyone who couldn't make it appreciates you. Everyone who follows Torch appreciates you. Just everyone appreciates you because you are a genuine person and you really do see and breathe, like just, you see people for who they are, for what they can do, and you're just one of the most supportive people that I've ever met in my life. And I'm sure in Elena's life and everybody else's life here. So thank you so much. Congratulations for an awesome year. We all appreciate you. Everyone can give you flowers while you're still here.
I love you, Brittany. Thank you. Thank you, Elena. I love you. Jay in Portland, I love you. Our associate editor, I love all of you. Tell the people you love them. Love is love. And we need more of that every single day. So thank you for giving me my flowers. Thank you so much for coming and celebrating, dear friends, dear poets. Thank you all for coming and choosing to be here tonight. And please, eat a chicken wing. Thank you so much for coming.
I forgot to say what I was actually supposed to say, my bad. Tomorrow, if you like tonight, tomorrow we have another event celebrating National Poetry Month. You can meet us at Fam Jam tomorrow for an open mic. Fam Jam is a small Black-owned business, hand wraps, accessories, lovely things. It's completely free, so go to Torch's website to the calendar and RSVP. Also, we want to thank everyone that came today. Of course, the Carver for letting us host. I see Dawa/Bree, our passive admin fellow in the building. Hey, Everywhere Poetry /Jasmine. Oh, hi, Irish Consulate. Mr. Robert Holt. And then, who else do I see? Oh, Black Pearl Books, the Black-owned bookstore here in Austin. Just lots of people in the building, so we have to be out. I'm gonna say by 8:45 so we can really be out by 9. So feel free to go out there, eat some food, talk to people, tell people you love them, and just celebrate Amanda. So thank y'all for coming. And yeah, bye.